Krishna and Govardhan. It was a rainy season in Vrindavan. The sun was smiling weakly behind dark clouds. The charming village was transformed into a lush heaven with healthy greener vegetation and plenty of rains for the people. Krishna woke up with a start. It was not yet morning, but the sounds coming from the streets were loud and noisy. He got up and peeked outside his window. A crowd had gathered before his house. Several men and women were sweeping the streets clean. The roads were being decorated with garlands and lamps. Krishna was surprised. In the rainy season, people slept till late in the morning. Is it a festival today? Or is anybody getting married? He wondered. He left his home to take a cold bath in the river. While coming back, he saw his father Nanda overseeing the men in the streets. Father, what's happening on the streets? Krishna asked his father. The Gopalas are preparing to celebrate a festival to worship Lord Indra, said Nanda. This year, the rains have been especially bountiful and everybody is happy with the fertile crops. Since Indra is the god of rains, we should thank him for being so gracious in his blessings. Krishna frowned. How do you say that Lord Indra is the one who is causing rains, father? Nanda looked at his son in alarm. Of course, it's Indra who is the reason for our good fortune, son. He is the god of the clouds and he rules them. So, he is the one who has blessed us with good rain this year, he replied hesitantly to his son. No, father, refused Krishna firmly. You are all mistaken. Govardhan mountain is our real friend. More than the clouds above, the mountain in our village has helped us. The fertile mountain sends the signal in the air and creates clouds that drift over the Vrindavan and give us rains. The one we should praise and worship is not Indra but Govardhan. Nanda and other Gopalas at work gasped in surprise. How could Krishna dismiss Lord Indra, god of the clouds, and direct them to worship a mere mountain instead? Yes, father, continued the boy. Who gives us medicine in the form of magical herbs and plants? Who sends us clean water and air from the top of its peak? And who gives us good grass for our cows so that they give us milk that is sweeter than honey? It's Govardhan. So why should we not worship the mountain? It's wiser to give thanks to something which is right before us rather than some deva who lives comfortably in the heavens. Hearing Krishna's words, the Gopalas were totally convinced. They all agreed to worship Govardhan that year instead of Lord Indra. Up in the skies, Lord Indra listened to this conversation in anger and fury. So, that little cowherd boy has stopped the celebrations in my honor, he thought angrily. Lord Indra's pride was insulted by the Gopala's decision to worship Govardhan instead of him. In his anger, he decided to punish the people of Vrindavan. It's time they know who the real god is here. I'll send the most dangerous rains and thunderstorms to Vrindavan, he thought cruelly. They will destroy the whole village of Vrindavan. I'll see who will save them then. Using his divine powers, Lord Indra created evil-looking clouds that seemed to be darker than the midnight sky. Go, destroy Vrindavan, he ordered. And they heeded their master's command. They grouped together to form a menacing army of clouds and raced towards the village where Krishna and several innocent families lived. After a delicious lunch, the people of Vrindavan were dozing in their homes. Suddenly they heard a big crash. Everybody was alarmed and came out of their homes. What they saw outside took their breath away. It was noon in Vrindavan, but the whole village had become pitch dark. The sun was nowhere to be seen. Instead, black and terrible-looking clouds had invaded the village. They enveloped the whole place in a thick mist, darkening the day, making it gloomy. The clouds looked evil and menacing, but they stood suspended in air, as if waiting for somebody. The Vrindavan people watched spellbound. Nothing like this had ever happened in their lives. Krishna came out of his house. As soon as he stepped out, there was a great roar and the black clouds poured rains over Nanda's house. From Nanda's house, the demonic clouds quickly spread themselves over the town. The dark sky seemed to open with a vengeance. Hard rain came down in torrents, flushing away the cattle and the frail huts. "Run!" screamed a man in terror, and people started to run for their lives. They ran in all directions to save their family and belongings. But the clouds were merciless. They now had the support of blinding lightning and ear-splitting thunder. Every now and then lightning struck a fertile tree and destroyed it. Thunder rumbled throughout the ordeal, shaking people's nerves and panicking them. Nanda felt helpless on seeing his people panic. "It's difficult to escape the wrath of gods. That's why we worshipped Lord Indra all these years, Krishna," he said gravely. "Because we decided to ignore Lord Indra this year, he is punishing us. Now innocent people are suffering because of your idea. What do we do now?" Krishna looked at the skies. "Ah, vain Indra," he thought in mounting anger. "I understand your plan. You want to teach us a lesson, don't you? But first you need one." Thinking so, Krishna laid a reassuring arm on his father. "First, we need to focus on making the people see reason, father," he said, and went to the center of the town. Using his most commanding voice, he called out, "Do not panic." The Gopalas looked at Krishna miserably. "This is all our fault," somebody murmured. "We insulted Indra and now he is punishing us," continued another. "Yes, this is indeed an evil plot of Lord Indra," replied Krishna. "But like before, Govardhan would help us once again. Come this way and I will show you how," he declared and led them to the mountain. Krishna looked up and smiled at the clouds, and in a blink of the eye he lifted Govardhana mountain like an umbrella over the people. People forgot to breathe. A small boy had lifted a mountain on his little finger. Up above, Indra was bewildered. His powers were now all dust before a little boy. "How can a mere child lift a mountain?" he thought, frightened. "Pride and arrogance has clouded your common sense, Indra," sounded the voice of Brahma, the god of creation in Devaloka. "Don't you know that Krishna is a divine child? Aren't you aware that he is an incarnation of Lord Vishnu? Shame on you." Indra was humbled and stopped the reeds. As a sign of his apology, he gave a unique order to the clouds. The Vrindavan people looked in wonder as rose petals started to fall from the skies. Then the applause began. Every Gopala whooped in delight at their darling boy for his strength and wisdom. Shouts of "Long live brave Krishna" seemed to echo everywhere. The Gopalas were immensely pleased and praised Krishna for his power.